Glaude, one of my great friend from New York. Hey, Janet, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sean. It's great to be here. Honored, really, and humbled that you even thought to reach out. I'm really excited to be here. So thanks so much.
So let's do this. Our main goal here is for our audience, for you, my friend, that what you don't know about particular region, what Google will not tell you. Who can tell you? Janet can tell you because she's living there. She's doing real estate. She loves that market. So she knows more than Google in Tri-City area. That means that particular area also called Tri-City. So Janet, let's start like this. Why is it Tri-City area in upstate New York?
Well, we live in a very rural part of the state. And so it's a little bit more populated now, but years ago, we were known by the Tri-City, which is Troy, Albany, Schenectady. Schenectady is actually the electric city where GE is mainly from, and Albany, of course, is the capital. I could talk to you all day about the history. And Troy is the third city, which during the Industrial Revolution, it was the fifth richest city in the nation. That's called the Collar City because that's where collars of shirts were made. Oh. And Uncle Sam is actually from Troy. Oh. Moby Dick was written in Troy. There's a lot of history in Troy.
Okay, good. See, we get like a three different value in one place. That's perfect.
Yes.
So, Janet, let's start with the lifestyle. You say is rural, used to be more, now it's kind of, a little bit more people live there. Now, what kind of lifestyle, for example, like if somebody want to move to your place from, say, New York, okay? So what are they looking for? Like why people are moving? You know what, let's start like this. Who are moving there? Like, if you see someone moving from another state or another city, from where people are moving to your area?
Well, primarily, I'd like to start out saying that this is really a wilderness adventure destination if you're going to live here. Where I actually live, the capital region is actually in the valley of the largest mountain range in the country, which is the Adirondacks. The Adirondacks mountain range that goes all the way into Canada and over into Ohio. The majority of it is here in New York. And so we are having a huge influx of New York City residents actually moving up to our space now, just because mainly of the Tri-City, these cities that we have been renovated. I'm going to say rehabilitated for a better word, but it's really, the revitalization. So we've had a huge revitalization. The majority of Troy, Albany, and Schenectady roads, believe it or not, are brick. So we have a lot of roads that are still protected. With that, we are one of the oldest areas in the region, and so a lot of people come up here for our scenery. It's actually the best place to come for fall foliage in the entire country. Many people travel from all over the world, and so we have a huge influx right now moving in from New York City that are coming out of the city and moving up our way. And we also have three major industries that are growing in our area. A company called Regeneron, which is a pharmaceutical company, which is out of Rensselaer or East Greenbush area, which is one of the main areas I work. And Global Foundries, which is right outside of Saratoga Springs in a town called Malta or Boston Spa. And Regeneron is pharmaceutical. Global Foundries makes computer chips. And we have Amazon now moving here. So we just opened up a huge Amazon warehouse in Schodack, which is right on the cusp of Columbia County and Rensselaer County. And so there's a huge influx of jobs here. So not only do we have our residents that are looking to move here, we have a huge influx of more people here coming to upstate New York.
Okay, so what I got is like one of the reasons is people are moving from other state or other cities because of the job transfer. That's, makes sense. But one of the biggest reason people will move to your city is the nature and the history.
Yes, and I can tell you our price points are below what a lot of other price points are nationally speaking. And so we actually have a huge investment pool. I work with a ton of investors. And so if anybody out in the world is looking for investment property, you could get a great 4-family here for under 400,000 and really have really good rents of $1,200 to $1,500 a month. So they're really big cash cows with not a lot of buy-in. So I have a lot of investors from California, New York City, and Florida that do a lot of investments here in our area. So there's a lot of different things happening.
That's good to know. So still there is a good investor market, and also, of course, if it's affordable, why not? You know, people from the major cities, they're going to move there. That is perfect. Very, very good. Now, tell me about like a schooling system. You know, is more, you know, in your place, like you see more family people or single people or retirees? What kind of like is the school system is a factor?
School system is a factor for most people. I would say we have I think the top 5 school districts in the entire state, and New York State's a very, very large state. Yeah. I think 5 of the top 10 best school districts in New York State are here in our region. Oh. And we are actually a college area too. We have several colleges here, several engineering schools. I mean, I could give you a whole list of them, but I mean, RPI, which is somewhat very well-known, Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, is right in Troy. The city of Troy itself has 4 colleges. Schenectady has 3, and then Albany, of course, you have the SUNY Albany schools, which are all over. But
okay, so
you have a lot of people coming in here for education too, and they stay here.
Okay, they do. Okay, yeah, it's affordable. You know, why not? You know,
exactly.
Yeah. The other thing also. So let's talk about the hobbies. You know, for example, you know, in Fort Lauderdale, in our place, like people love boating. You know, they love golfing or fishing. You know, that those are the common. There's a lot of other hobbies also. So, but in your place, like, what are the, you know, common hobbies? Like, you know, when people move there, the family, like they should look for.
Well, I'll get a little geology on you. Our whole region has a lot of actual natural evidence to show the tectonic plate shift. Yes. And how the continents were formed. And a lot of our mountain ranges are from glaciers. And so just in the county that I live in, we have 66 glacier lakes. And so our whole region has a ton of glacier lakes. In fact, Lake George, which is, I mentioned I have a summer place just an hour from here. Lake George is the largest glacier lake in the country. It's 5 miles long. So that's a huge destination for a lot of people to come to. So I would say being out in nature, hiking, there's bicyclists that travel from all over the country to come here to ride our hills. We have huge, huge hills here and very, very scenic. What else? Tons of skiing. We're surrounded by tons of skiing resorts, obviously, because of the mountains. Tons of hiking, obviously with the lakes, that's kayaking, boating. We have tons of non-motorized lakes, and then we have a ton of motorized lakes. We actually have a lot of private lakes. So if you're looking for a lake house, affordably speaking, you can find a beautiful lake house for under $1 million on a private lake. Now, the larger the lake, obviously, the more our price point. But I can tell you, I live in the Valley of the Hills region, and so predominantly you can get a lot of lake home for your money there. And so because we're so rural, and it really is a wonderful place to come. We have, when I say hikes, it's like New York State has created tons of state parks and state trails. So you literally can find walking trails in the cities, in Albany and Troy and everywhere, tons of bike routes, tons of bike trails. So it really is a nature enthusiast place. I just want to point out real quick, this is a farm community. The capital region is a farm community. And so we're really fortunate here in this area that you can pretty much go in a 5-mile radius and be able to get fresh fruits and vegetables right from the farm and fresh meats and everything. And I think that's really what entices people here to come to our area, is all the resources that we have here, where we can live clean, eat clean, be healthy and well, and be out in nature. Well, we freeze in the winter. We don't freeze in the winter.
So, okay, now, yeah, that was my next question, that what will be the right time of the year to visit your place?
I think that there's beautiful times of the year to come any time of year. And so we'll start right now. So we're getting ready to go into the summer season. And so as soon as kids get out of school, which is mid-June to the end of June here, it's pretty much nobody's around locally. Everybody heads out to the mountain areas and they start camping and traveling and that kind of thing. We have Six Flags here and all that. So it's a beautiful vacation destination for the summertime. Fall, which is what I mentioned before, people travel from all over the country and the world sometimes to see our fall foliage. We are very unique with how our fall foliage is because of the crispness that we get quick and it's still warm during the day. So we can go down to 30 degrees right at night, and then in the daytime we could be up to almost 80. And so in that fall, the fall foliage is absolutely beautiful.
That's good.
Yeah. And we have a ton of apple orchards here. So around here in the fall, it's pumpkins, apples, hard cider, apple cider. Getting your driving up the mountain ranges and seeing just the fall foliage is beautiful. We also have Saratoga Springs, which has the racetrack. And so if you're into the horse racing, people travel from all over the world to come to Saratoga Springs, which is a beautiful community. We have fresh springs there, mineral baths, all that kind of thing. Again, from the glacial valleys of being in these mountain ranges, we have all these beautiful natural resources. But we have the Travers. That's a huge race in horse racing. So a lot of people come here for that. Winter, obviously, skiing. A ton of people ski around here and snowmobile, tons and tons of snowmobiling around here. So if that's your thing, it's a great time to come. And then in the spring, it's like Albany's the place to be in the spring. We have a huge tulip festival there. Albany is mainly Dutch, was mainly founded by the Dutch. And so we have a lot of things that are associated with Holland and that kind of thing in Albany. So it's absolutely a beautiful time to come. So I would say any time is a great time to come here to Upstate.
That's good to know, because you can do any kind of activities on, when you go to the winter or the fall, it's a different activities, and the summer is more like a nature, or in the springtime, the lake, the nature. Wow, very nice.
So much.
Now, one of the concern I have is, you say it's rural. Okay, so what about the food? Like, when I come over there, do you guys have enough restaurants, different kind of restaurants?
We have all different kinds of restaurants. Well, you have to remember, we were upstate, but we're still New York. And so you're going to find the best pizza around here. You have pizza joints everywhere. There's actually a great Mexican restaurant. I just hosted a happy hour for my clients at Salsa Latina in East Greenbush, best Mexican food around. And we have tons of, I'm sure like everywhere else, tons of microbreweries, pubs. I mean, we're more of a pub area and a lot of mom and pop restaurants because that's just the tradition here. And so honestly, you're able to find food many times that you're not going to be able to find, say, in Fort Lauderdale, right? And so you get a lot of farm to table type of restaurants here, which is great. And we have barbecue joints. So I would say, excuse me, and they're getting ready. We're laughing about it. We're getting a Chick-fil-A down the road. That's like, oh, we made it. We made it.
Now it's going to really get busy there.
We got Chick-fil-A. So I would say we've had a lot of demographic growth here in our area, which was desperately needed.
Okay, yes, that's good. So you have like a lot of mixed culture there too, like, so you get to listen to different music or eat different food and clothing, and so that's very good. Okay, that's perfect.
Well, and what's unique is once the weather breaks, you live in a warm climate all the time, so you guys already have like outdoor things, but around here, because once the weather breaks, it's like they have tons of open concerts. We have Saratoga Performing Arts Center, which is SPAC, which is a whole outdoor epicenter, really. people travel hours to go to see a concert at
Wow.
SPAC. And, you have the greats there. I've seen Elton John there and all that. So they do a huge jazz festival there in the summer. And almost every restaurant or pub has live music
Oh, wow, that's
outside.
nice.
So yeah, it's really, and that's really why I think a lot of downstate folks come up this way now, because it's less people and like the same feel of like Brooklyn or Greenwich Village. Like we still have that feel, but just on a way smaller scale, and
Okay.
everybody knows everybody, which is
Okay,
nice.
that's good. That's great. So you work hard, but you also live the life. It's not like just working. So that is good actually. I find the well balance, enjoying the life. Now pricing we spoke a little bit about, is very affordable. So the lake homes, of course, the bigger the lake, the prices are the higher. But on a lower side, if somebody want to buy like a smaller property, on a small lake, natural lake, any lake is great. So what price we are looking at right now?
Well, I just had a colleague of mine put a lake house under contract that needs a ton of work. That's on Burden Lake, which is a lake right here in our neighborhood here. And she just sold it for 629.
629. Okay, and that's a lake
That's a
home.
high and that's a high number for here, Sean, because of the influx of buyer, like I had talked about. I just read an article in the USA Today. Albany, the capital region, is still #1 right now for seller's market.
Oh,
We have such an influx of buyer from everybody moving here, plus the people that are here now.
mm.
I just listed a home in a city where I cannot even believe it. I have 7 offers right now. I'm expecting to get one more. I don't even want to tell you how high they are going over listing price, but that is our reality, unfortunately.
Right now.
Fortunately for the seller.
Yeah.
Fortunately for our seller.
So just to mention this for our audience, because on YouTube, like people can watch this video maybe 5 years from now. So we're talking right now is 2023 mid, like a June 2023, and this is what Janet's market is going at a price range that having multiple offers, and people, you're saying people paying over the asking price?
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm getting ready to close on a listing that I just had that went $60,000 over the asking price. I had 11 offers there.
How much was the sales price on this one?
Well, and I'll give you the whole scope. My client bought it in 2021 for 205, a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath townhouse.
Okay.
That was built in 1991.
Okay.
So she bought it for 205 in 2021. We sold it in 2023 for 295.
Wow, just 2 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's great actually.
Just in two years.
Wow.
And so that is the struggle, really, is to be competitive in this marketplace right now. And until more inventory comes out, I don't see it changing.
Yeah, another thing also, like, even though that's, of course, this is a crazy little bit market for the buyers, but, still prices are, comparatively affordable compared to some other cities, because.
Oh, yes. Well, compared to and I talk about that all the time, on a national level, we are a very, very low price point. I mean, my average price points are between, that was like a lower end, but most of the homes I do are usually over 300, which are still an average price point. But I just sold a Cape Cod that had 20 acres, and it was like, we sold that for $579.
Wow,
so
nice.
It depends on the area, but I would say for working folks, June 2023, average price point, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2 bath, they're going for probably like 3.25, which is very high for this area.
Yeah, it is. But
before COVID, our average price point was 225.
Okay, so yeah, that's true.
So now we're at 3-something, 350 or 375 for that price point. And it's, even though it sounds like a slow price point, like nationally, for those of us folks that live here, right, it's still a great, great sticker shock.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if folks want to move and they refied like everybody else under the sun during COVID when our rates were historically low, they don't have a desire to move. Why would they? I wouldn't either.
Right. That's I think that is the challenge we are having right now. Yeah.
And that's the challenge, especially. But the buyer, it's like, what do they say? People are always dying. People are always getting married. People are always getting divorced. People are always having babies. Those things are never going to change.
Yep.
So there always are going to be buyers out there that need to get into a home.
Yeah. And
good. They're willing to pay whatever it takes to do that.
Yeah, that's great. So, the great thing also, Janet, is good to know, not only for the investor, even someone has a house and want to buy, an investment property for their family. So this is a good time because you guys have, good rental market because of, the different amenities you guys have over there. And this is a good time to invest right now. Buy that 4-unit, the 4-plex, or buy a condo and rent it out. Hey, 10 years from now, you're going to have a good amount of equity on that property. So that's the message I want to give it to our audience. Like, if you're thinking of buying your first investment or second investment, here you go. Call Janet. So Janet, my other thing is to reach out to you. What the number they're going to call, and your website or email address.
Okay, so my phone number is 518-526-3621.
Okay, email address?
JanetGlaude@howardhanna.com.
Okay, and then your website
is janetglaude.howardhanna.com.
Very good. And then also, now the best place to find you is the social media. The
best place to find me is on social media. Yes.
The messenger.
Facebook, Instagram. It's just Janet Glaude Realtor. You reach out to me on my public, my private profile, which is public as well. Just look up my name, tap in, and we'll get to know a little bit about me. Some good, some you decide.
Yeah, very good, Janet. Janet, thank you for all those insight you just gave. And, I didn't even know, because I know you for so many years through our 5 a.m. call and, Tom Ferry, of course, our Tom Ferry coaching. But I never knew that it's called Tri-City, all those things you guys have. And that's amazing to know. Thank you very much for all this information. And I definitely know it's going to help, a lot of our audience to get to know your market. Thank you very much.
No, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. And on a side note, I do live in a small town called Postenkill, and we do have American flags going down the street as soon as Memorial Day to Labor Day. We have Memorial Day parades with the Little League and all of that right there on that little main street. So I'd say small town USA still exists. It's still alive and kicking, and we all love it.
Still keeping that culture.
If you want something like that, reach out.
No, still keeping that culture. And also, Janet, just to let you guys know, Janet does the happy hour for the clients and, people she knows. She's very social. So reach out to her. You don't have to buy anything or don't do any real estate. You don't have to.
Let's have lunch.
No, just happy hour. Like join you for the happy hour. Yeah. So that's for sure. So thank you guys for watching. Here is Janet. Her phone number and contact information is right here. So reach out to her. My name is Shawn Bhakta, and you guys know me. So let's talk about Janet's market. Thank you. Thanks for watching. See you guys in another episode next week.